Yes, folks, hello, welcome to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris, otherwise known online as the True Mr. Six. Go find me on Instagram, go find me on Twitter, and I'm back again today with another instalment of What's Caught My Eye this week, or what I sometimes call...
Listen to your friend Chris.
Because my name's Chris, and I'm asking you to listen to me. But it's mostly just a weekly news update. This is where I talk about all the various action figure and collectible news that has caught my eye, rabbit on about it for about 15-20 minutes, and then invite you to come and join me to rabbit on about it further in the comments down below. There's a few things knocking around this week that I want to talk about, so let's not dilly-dally around, let's get into it. Stick around for 6 seconds, and let's talk about some stuff. Alright then, folks, well, thanks so very much for sticking around. Let's get into it, and I'm going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you very much to Sparrow Faye, a valued member of the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles viewing community, for a little bit of feedback on last week's instalment. Sparrow Faye suggested that it might be nice if I zoomed in on some stuff, you know, when I'm focusing on it, when I'm talking, but I never quite know what's going to come out my mouth when I turn on the microphone and turn on the camera. So I'm going to try out this little whiteboard system here today. I'm going to try and move around and pinch and zoom on things, a bit more organic, a bit more in the moment. So I'd appreciate any further feedback that anyone's got to offer, particularly you, Sparrow Faye, to let me know whether that works or not. Also, as a little side note, I know I'm in the weeds. I will get into some news in a minute, but I'm thinking about maybe doing these as a live stream in the future. So I'm playing around with this idea as a possible method of doing it as a live stream. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in getting involved in, whether you'd like to watch a live stream, participate in the chat and those types of things. I'd be interested to know whether that's the direction to take this in. But there you go. There's all the in the weeds rambling stuff. Let's get into it and let's talk about a bit of news this week on the G.I. Joe Classified series front. If you've been around this channel for any period of time, you'll know G.I. Joe Classified series is my favourite line at the moment. I have passed on a few figures here or there, but largely speaking, I think it's the best that Hasbro's putting out at the moment. I think it's probably the best in that price range, although the price is creeping up. I mean, just even before hitting record, I was playing around with my new General Hawk and Ripper down here. I think is a contender for one of my all-time faves when it comes to G.I. Joe Classified series. I've been loving playing around with this guy. And a couple of days ago on the socials, you know, it spreads like wildfire, doesn't it, when something of interest gets out there. I picked these up once again on the UK G.I. Joe Classified series collectors Facebook group. There were some packaging leaks of some upcoming figures. We had Duke here. Look at this bad boy. We had Scarlet. And we saw Metalhead, Big Boa, Airborne, and the Recon Diver, in addition to the Recon Trooper, or Action Trooper, the Infantryman, as Lenny called him on the stream, that I showed you last week. So lots of stuff to really kind of cast your eyes over and get excited about here. So the Duke on the retro card back looks awesome. I'm so very pleased that this guy's coming out. I came to the line just a smidge too late and I missed out on Duke, and I found it very hard to get hold of on the secondary market. But frankly, I was a bit like that about the look and feel of the figure anyway. But that is just almost exactly the Duke I'm looking for. And look at all the added value in there with the hand swaps and the helmet, the weaponry, the backpack, loads of good stuff going on there. There's something a little blurred out at the bottom too, but I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, very exciting. And of course, as a retro cardback figure, you're going to get the foot stand too, and I love the foot stands. Lenny, Emily, Tony, anyone from Hasbro who may even vaguely pay attention to my channel, please just release a multi-pack of the Cobra and the G.I. Joe foot stands that you do with the retro card packs. I'll drop a $5 on, 3 or 4 of them or whatever, because they are super useful and they're dead stylish as well. I love that slick black design. So Duke there looking just spot on, exactly as I was hoping for, as I was clinging on, waiting for a reissue. I didn't do the Tiger Force one. I was just like this praying, and my prayers have been answered. A few little interesting things to point out. He's got the new diaphragm cut there that we saw on Bazooka a little while ago, which is an interesting choice. Curious to know why they made that choice, but makes no odds to me whether it'll affect the ab crunch or not. But I like the more seamless line than the sort of the N shape cut hinge thing. I think it looks a little bit less toyetic. Is that the word I hear knocking around? Is that what Dave would say? A little less toyetic and a bit more, fluid, a bit more seamless in that space there. So I'm a much bigger fan. I keep fidgeting with my hair because it's freaking cold around here in the UK right now, folks. And I've had my hat on. In fact, you could even see the seam lines where the hat's been sitting on my hair. And now I've got like really floppy hair. Now, you'd be excused for saying, well, Chris, isn't your hair always floppy like this? But not this floppy. I know. I can feel it. It's different. Anyway, let's scooch on over and take a look at Scarlett as well from the Retro Card Back series. Her packaging was also leaked at the same time as Duke's. And look at this. I mean, look at it. So much added value packed in there. I mean, you've got the crossbow up here with all the different types of arrows, loads of weaponry. We've got the assault rifle, the pistol. You can see in the background there, actually, if I just, you see just in the background there, there's that's the kind of classic cartoon laser rifle thing there. Also really awesome to see the hand swaps in here. Got them on Duke too. I mean, I've said this for ages, and I know I'm not alone. At minimum, surely every G.I. Joe Classified Series figure should come with a Yo-Jo fist bump and a salute. Shouldn't that just be like the bare minimum? I mentioned this on my 2023 wish list, and while we're seeing a few figures coming out with stuff like that, we're still like missing it as standard. It really should be there as standard. But yeah, loads of extra value in there. Lenny mentioned about this ponytail as well, as a swappable ponytail, so you could do some stuff with the head articulation and whatnot. It's awesome. The quiver looks great. Look at the quiver on that there. Just an excellent piece of kit. Hopefully it'll be nice and tight and not loose, so I don't end up losing the arrows. But yeah, just tons of added value. And for the inbox collectors as well, I mean, look at that artwork on the card back there, really reminiscent of the old Hector Garrido artwork from the original vintage figures from back in the day, which is exciting for those who want to keep them on the card backs. I think I like Duke's artwork a bit better than I like Scarlett's. That looks just like, I don't know, like it's got a little bit more depth. But you know, that's a horses for courses kind of thing, because I think they both look really tremendous. And then further to that, in the main line, we saw some packaging get leaked as well. This photo from the same source. Again, I should point out, if I've not done already, that I got these on the UK G.I. Joe Classified Series Collectors Facebook group was where I saw these and picked up these pickies. But there's Metalhead here, Big Boa, Airborne, and the Recon Diver, in addition to the, or Action Sailor, as it says on the packaging there, in addition to the Action Trooper, or the Infantryman, that I showed you guys in last week's installment. These look great. I mean, I'm really into these. 100%. It's going to be a wave that's going to be rather costly, because I'm definitely picking up Big Boa. I was chatting on the Discord group with my peeps over there in the G.I. Joe Classified Discord group, that in my older age, I'm really into the more wacky, idiosyncratic folks. So Big Boa just super appeals to me now in my older age. But Airborne looks great. I like that fresh splash of colour and that different flavour of speciality to add to the shelf. These Recon Divers, I'm probably going to skip. I've just made a decision that, as far as my shelf display, which is just off camera, you can't see it, but it's up back there in front of where those blue lights are. I just haven't got the space to add another kind of corner of the G.I. Joe. You know, I've got Ninjas, I've got Dreadnoks, I've got an Arctic Snow Force, going on. I've got your core Green Troopers, I've got the Cobra Armed Forces going on. I'm probably going to be going all in on the Iron Grenade. I just haven't got the room for another sub-genre sticking out there. Shipwreck and Copperhead's about as far as I'm going to go in terms of the nautical space, but these look great, although I suspect hugely that the Action Sailor and the Action Trooper are going to be very difficult to get a hold of, because folks are going to be army building like mad. So yeah, this stuff is obviously sneaking out the back doors of factories over in the east there, and folks are taking pictures of them. But further to that, Hasbro announced that they're going to have a G.I. Joe fan stream taking place on Thursday this week, which is 2 days from today as I'm recording. And you could probably bet good money that some of this stuff, if not all of it, is going to be in the pre-orders, although it was suggested in the description on the Instagram post where I saw this from the Hasbro Pulse Instagram page that there's going to be some new reveals as well. So let's see what happens. But if I was a betting man, I'd put money down on some of this stuff, that's here, having in-hand spinny table reveals, with Lenny and maybe Tony talking through them. So I'm going to miss that stream live, which I'm gutted about, but I've got me work's Christmas due. But I'm sure I'll catch up on the video on demand the minute I get home and expect some video coverage from me on that subject a day or two. Well, I was going to say a day or two later, but frankly, if you are a regular viewer around these parts, it will be a day or two later. I'll be like a week later. Or everyone else, Full Force Podcast, Artist Shark, He Who Shall Not Be Named, they'll have all covered it extensively by the time I get round to it. But I hope some of you might be interested in those thoughts, however late they may be. So there we go. Quite a bit of stuff on G.I. Joe Classified series. It's the line that just keeps on giving. If there's one criticism, I suppose, that we can all share, is that it's a bit relentless at the minute. They're just not giving us classified fans a minute's breath, They can't even just get into enjoying figures before you're sort of moving on to the cult of the new again. All right, then, what next? Let's go down here to the red box and let's talk about DC Multiverse, the other line that I sort of kind of casually collect. I've talked about DC Multiverse on every installment that I've done of this video series since I've started it, because the simple fact of the matter is that Toddy Boy there, he, talking about being relentless, he announces a new pre-order like daily. Their Instagram page is like, boom, do you want some Demon Slayer? Boom, do you want some DC Multiverse? Boom, do you want some more Avatar figures? You like your Navi? Here's another Navi. Bam, 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 bam. And there's been some more DC Multiverse stuff announced this week. This is the only one really that caught my eye, was the Superman that they put out there. I was only saying last week, I'm hankering for a new Superman that's just going to scratch the itch I'm looking for. A nice classic design. And yeah, that's the one that's probably going to be knocking my Action Comics 1000 off the shelf, because I like the head sculpt, the smiling head sculpt. It's got the more vivid blues and reds in there. It's not entirely classic. I know a few folks have pointed out the belt, and said, what's going on with that more modern look belt? But all right, you can't have it all, I suppose. So it's a banger. I like the look of him. I think he's got what I want from that classic look collection that I'm trying to do with my DC Multiverse. The problem is, as I mentioned last week, the distribution here in the UK is absolutely bobbins. It's all over the fucking place. I can't get my hands on a Wonder Woman. In fact, my friendly local toy store, or the independent that I like to use, I emailed them and they said, Wonder Woman's not even coming to the UK. We're going to have to get it on import. So I'm like, what the hell is going on there? Still waiting on my Catman, still waiting on my Santa Batman, still waiting on... What else have I pre-ordered? Anyway, I've got loads of multiverse stuff, and the retailer says, I don't know what's going on with my allocation. I'd love to help you out, Chris. So it's all a real mess, and especially Wonder Woman, such an A-lister, just not getting her in the UK, and I fear that this Superman's going to be the same problem. But then, they're putting out stuff like this, a Blacklight Entertainment Earth exclusive... Mr. Freeze, or Mr. Cold, as he would have been called back then, in this crazy acid house fever dream look. Guy looks like there's been a few pills popped and some stuff going on, and there it is under the blacklight look, folks. All very exciting, and that's fine. You know what? I don't judge. There'll be some collectors out there who will be really into that sort of stuff. Love the crazy interpretation of the characters, like the Jokerized one, the sketch art ones, the blacklight versions. That's fine. I'm in no position to talk. I've just mentioned how I like Big Boa, and behind me right now, I've got my Christmas-themed Mandalorian and my Christmas-themed Scout Trooper out on the shelf because, festive season and all that. That's right, folks. It's me. I'm that guy. I'm the guy buying the Christmas-themed Black Series figures. So that's fine. Whatever, pick them up. What frustrates me is that I can't get my hands on A-list, classic look, main character from the big three, Wonder Woman, and I fear for whether I'm going to be able to get my hands on this one right now because the distribution's all over the place. But I can absolutely guarantee next time I walk into a bleeding forbidden planet, there'll be like 6 of these on the shelf. You know what I mean? It's the Jokerized and the sketch arts and the death metal, spiky, chainy, spawnified Todd versions of every character are everywhere. But I can't get the classic look ones. So extremely salty and extremely frustrated with McFarlane at the moment. Like showing off great figures like this and the Wonder Woman that I spoke about 2 weeks ago. But I can't get my hands on them. Okay, so ramble, rabbit. Let's get moving on. Let's have a look at the yellow corner here. And this is the Jada Toys shelf, specifically the Street Fighter figures shelf at the LA Comic-Con that took place this weekend just gone. Big shout out to Toy Migos. It was their Jada stall walkthrough that I snatched that screen grab from. So thank you very much, guys, for that. And I'll make sure you're linked down in the description below. You're doing the Lord's work, letting folks like me know about awesome figures like this. And yeah, this line is really impressive. I picked up the Ryo, picked up the Chun-Li. They are a lot of fun to play with, really nostalgic. Just takes me, all the way back to those days of hammering the controller when I was a kid or saving up me pocket money to go down the arcade. And is looking like, a hell of a line. Look at this. We've got them all there. You got the Vega, the Sagat, the M. Bison, the Kami, the Giles in there. Look at that Blanca. He is awesome, an absolute beast. Speaking of which, I really want to get that Blanca and pair him up with a beast and do, somebody suggested to me a little while ago, a little photo project doing the X-Men versus Street Fighter, the Capcom crossover game. And I definitely want that Blanca to put with my X-Men retro card back beast. I think that'd be a great little scene to work on. So I'm tinkering around with that right now. It's the backgrounds that are the problem, but I'm getting there. I think I've got an idea how to do it. But yeah, I got your Dal Sim in there and everything. It's just a really great line. I do highly recommend it. The articulation on my Ryu specifically is amazing. It's loose, but a good loose. It's like silky. It's really silky smooth, just exceptionally good, like right out the packet. No fears, no anxiety-inducing clacks and cricks and clicks, no stiffness. Didn't have to get a hairdryer out. But even though it's got this sort of loose motion, it just feels silky. In fact, let me grab him. Yeah, he's just tremendous. Just really silky smooth, really responsive, just absolutely fantastic, but with just the right amount of resistance to give you some confidence when you're trying to stand him and get him in display and pose him up. Very, very enjoyable figure to toy around with and enjoy. Great for the man-child playtime. Just, yeah, look at that. Just really responsive. So it's kind of loose, but in the right kind of way, Just, yeah, awesome. Very, very enjoyable figure. So if the rest of the line, put it back in there, if the rest of the line is anywhere near that, although I have to confess, I didn't review Chun-Li because I was less impressed with her comparably. She had, it was the feet that did my head in because they weren't as sturdy and stable as Ryu was, but Kami's looking pretty good, isn't she? Looking really good. And that M. Bison, and that Blanca, and that Guile, although he's got pinned arms. I saw someone talking about pinned arms over on the Toy Duo stroke Toy Team stroke Vern Rant's Ways of the Sith was mentioning about the pinned arms, but I'm less bothered by that. But yeah, I'll definitely be picking up a couple of these just to do some fun displays. Like I say, I want to do some like Street Fighter versus X-Men Capcom crossover stuff. So yeah, highly recommend the line, and clearly it's not going away anytime soon because they've got lots of characters yet to come down the pipeline. So yeah, awesome. Good job, Jada. All right, I've been going on for ages, so let's get finished up and let's go down to the little purple corner here. I saw the Four Horsemen Studios released a Jacob Marley, a Christmas Carol Jacob Marley. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, wow, look at this. Obviously, I'm a sucker for festive-themed action figures. I've got a Fresh Monkey Fiction reissue of the Jolly Naughty or Nice Santa on pre-order, but whether it's going to make it over to the UK from Big Bad Toy Store in time is another matter entirely. But if I do, I'll review it, so keep an eye out for that. But so I'm a sucker for all this stuff. I like having seasonal figures that I chop and change around. I've got like a little Halloween collection with some Buffy figures and some House of Horrors, Simpsons stuff. And this guy just appealed to me right out of the gate. I mean, look at him. Look at him. In fact, it was, it was this. No, not that one. Not that one. Oh, yeah, there it is. It was this picture here that did it. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Outstanding. Just great with all the accessories and the head swap and everything that was going on. Just really awesome. Limited release, only available directly from them on their website. I was like, yes, let's do this. I'm just the impulse, Chris, took over, and I rushed over to the website when I saw the Instagram page. It started a transaction. You can get like a gift set version with some Christmas cards and a like a mulled wine mug and some stuff, whatever. But you can get the figure itself for $60. Got to shipping. There it is, boys and girls. Just a prohibitive cost of shipping. In fact, FedEx International Connect Plus. In fact, the Connect Plus is less than the economy, but that's as much as buying a G.I. Joe Classified or a Jada Toys Street Fighter figure or a Marvel Legends or whatever. And I just can't justify that. It's a $60 figure in the first place, which is fine because, it's at the top end of what I wasn't comfortable with it, but the impulse in me was taking over, and you do get a hell of a lot of nice, sweet goodies with your money. You know what I mean? Just loads of great stuff in there. And it's got that it's festive themed, and I was feeling particularly festive the other day, and I was doing some Christmas shopping online, and so I was already blasting the credit card like a lunatic, getting stuff for my family. But the minute that came up, I just ground to a halt. And didn't make the purchase, which I don't think it'll be a problem for, the Four Horsemen Studios at all. I'm sure it's sold out by this point, and their North American customer base or their international customer base who can foot that kind of bill will have taken care of it. But this is one of the running themes on this channel: the difficulty of getting good quality import stock. I've just mentioned Fresh Monkey Fiction, the Four Horsemen stuff like Mythic Legions and the Figure Obscura have caught my eye of late, and I'm just like, they're so expensive. Big Bad Toy Store's not too bad. They've got like a set international rate that's fairly decent, but even then, you're taking a gamble. It's because if His Majesty's Customs grabs it, you're going to end up paying extra VAT on top anyway. It'll probably cost as much, but yeah, it's just a shame that these smaller, more boutique action figure creators, can't get a little collective together to, band together and, rent some shipping containers and get some more stock over to Europe or stuff, I know a couple of them have got exclusive deals over here, or did have, let's not retread the Valaverse story, but it's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame because this guy does look absolutely mind-bogglingly good, and I always hear great things about the work that Four Horsemen Studios do. But I am also grateful because it did save me from an impulse purchase that was going to be unpacked, put on a shelf, probably for a week by the time it shipped over here, and then put back in a box only to get taken out for a year. So it did kind of save me from an impulse buy that I shouldn't have been making, because a $60 figure is more than I usually go up to. But does look outstanding, doesn't it? I mean, look at these promo shots. Look at that. Look at that. Just mind-bogglingly good. Can't say bogglingly. Just mind-bendingly good. So there we go then, folks. Thank you so very much for...
Listen to your friend Chris.
Oh, I should do a second one that says listening to your friend Chris. But that's what's caught my eye this week. And I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and comments on those. Let me know what's caught your eye this week. There's so many toy lines out there. There's stuff that will absolutely have passed me by that I might be interested in. So I'm open to recommendations. I'm open to suggestions. Or just share with me. Just let me know. I love chatting with you guys down in the comments. Let me know what you're collecting at the moment. Maybe you're a Motu fan or a Power Rangers fan, and there's some exciting stuff going on over there that I won't have paid attention to. I'd be interested to know nonetheless. So let me know in the comments down below. But that concludes yet another installment of Listen to Your Friend Chris. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about what's caught my eye this week, and come back again sometime soon. It's a pleasure to have you around these parts. Action figure reviews, trading card content. I've got some comic book stuff in the pipeline. If you're a massive man-child nerd like me who worships at the broad church of collectible nerddom, then this is probably the channel for you. All right, well, I hope you have a lovely day. I'll see you again sometime soon.